little. All right. Should be live. I'm waiting for mine to kick in.
Oh, there we go. I think I just got it.
Clint said sound great. I can't even see myself yet.
I've got an ad. Okay. I can see
What's up, Denny?
I can see what's going to become a hole.
Yeah. So we're moving my son Thursday. He's closing on his house tomorrow. I might still have a live Thursday, but I might not. So I'm gonna
Because
do it.
it's going to be storming here tomorrow, so we can't move him tomorrow. So we had to put the move off until Thursday. So I highly doubt that you're going to get a chance to do a live on Thursday.
But my new doorway for over here, I was gonna maybe make it match in the same spot as it was over there, which I'd have to move the camera to show you that. But basically, it's right here. But I've got a pole in that area. So whenever I poured the concrete, I planned on, I got it like exactly where it is with this slab that's here, because this whole slab's kind of pitched. But I poured it like this side's actually a lot better than what that side was as far as how much different slopes and stuff. But I poured a section between the two poles, like to be the best. Made sure I finished it a little bit better there to where I can kind of smooth it out. Because over here, I'm not going to have a step. Like this one will just be straight into it. So, but I'm thinking about if I do that, I got to lose 2 of these because I can't just change the width of these. Actually, I can. If I make my own shelves, I can make them smaller. I just can't use these shelves. But I think what I'm going to do is just put a smaller doorway and like basically start my door here and come to where that pole is, which should be about here, which I think is going to give me like a 34-inch opening, which is plenty.
And as long as he doesn't get back on the Little Debbie's, then
well, it's more so
that's fine.
I'm mostly going to be, it's going to be supplies and totes and stuff like that. That's going, it's not like it's going to be like rolling table saws out of that room or something like that. So we got to get the shelves.
Yeah, I'm going to come over.
This shelf's got to come down. Basically.
I'm going to come over and help him get the stuff off the shelves. Clint, you are right. So the place that he is buying is completely furnished, but you would be surprised. We loaded almost the whole enclosed trailer. What size is your enclosed trailer?
I think it might be, I think it's 12 foot, but I think it's 14 counting the V.
Anyway, we did fill up an enclosed trailer full of stuff. Just, he's got like 2 flat screen TVs. He's taking a dresser. He's taking a bookshelf. He's got lots of clothes and lots of shoes.
This here is all just a bunch of different tool bags inside of a tool bag. So if I'm ever looking for a bag, I save these bags. These are good bags. Like I got a bunch of Milwaukee ones and DeWalt ones like this, and I use them like if I'm gonna crawl under a crawl space or up in an attic to just throw stuff in. That way I can just drag them on the ground. But that's what this is, just a big bunch of bags. Most everything over here is just fasteners of different kinds. And I kind of am sad about losing my 12-inch shelf, so I might actually move my 12-inch stuff for the fasteners and move them to this one and get rid of that one. I haven't decided because in there I'll have more of the depth of what these shelves are.
I was thinking that area was going to be a bunch of 12-inch stuff.
No, I think I'll be able to fit those because now that I put some stuff in there, I feel like I got plenty of room. I'd give anything if I could go back in time, and I can't tell you how many of these I recycled whenever I demoed that place because I didn't have anywhere to put them. I could have had all these kinds of shelves that I would ever want. Which the recycling paid for all my dumpsters. So, I mean, I saved money in the sense.
Well, at the time, all you had room for was this wall that you did.
Yeah.
So that's why you kept what you kept. Matter of fact, you actually did keep a little bit more and put it in our back barn. And then we finally, when we got that dumpster out here, got rid of some stuff.
So right now, I'm just gonna put this stuff wherever I can. Having this space over in here is gonna be the biggest help in the big scheme of things out of everything that I've done.
Oh my goodness. Look how many just extra lids. Is that because you don't have this many
I have
somewhere, do you?
I got some inside those lateral file cabinets that are
that you're just not using lids on. I was gonna say, do we have this many actual containers somewhere waiting to be used?
But I got a bunch of empty ones still too.
Shims, more shims.
Put all them in there.
Finish nails, those are very heavy.
Yeah, we got another empty one of them things, don't we? Yeah, I'm gonna put all them nails on one of these.
Wait, these are really quite heavy.
Those you can put wherever. I know if I put these somewhere loose, then they're all gonna get knocked over and go all over the place or something.
You've got a crate down here you can put some stuff in.
Yeah. This is actually one of them folding crates.
Collapsible, you mean?
Yeah. Might as well put some of this stuff in though.
Oh, goodness gracious.
I might take them with me tomorrow. Gotta fix some shutters tomorrow. Oh no.
Well, somebody was going to do it, but it wasn't going to be me.
That was the box fell to pieces, and of course it happened in a crate that has holes all in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got all these
Goodness.
on clearance one day at Home Depot, which I actually bought a bunch of these one time and built a pergola for somebody. But even just the screws, it was super cheap. Like they had them for like nothing, and it comes with the those big black anchors and all that stuff. It was cheaper to buy this than it would have been to even buy some of them lags. So I went ahead and bought them because I spent a ton on those whenever I built that pergola for them people.
Yeah, just waiting for another pergola order to come in.
Now I'll be looking for fasteners for the rest of for 10 weeks.
Okay, good. We made short work of that. Now I'm going to go over and read the comments.
These dudes right here are heavy.
I'm just mostly going to be moderating. I told him if he needs an extra set of hands, I'll be here.
Yeah, and I don't have another. I called my buddy who I ended up, they came and picked up a lot of these shelves whenever I was cleaning out that Bed Bath & Beyond. I was calling people and being like, hey, y'all need shelves? You need to come get some. And I wish I had one more of these because then I'd just move this somewhere else and still use it. But now, I can probably build something, I guess, and make myself one. But
Matt said it looks like you have totally enough totes. And
you see, I've got a bunch of brackets that work with this wire where it's just like L's and you cut your own wood to put as the shelves. But all they had these were on the top of every shelf at Bed Bath & Beyond, and I kept saving these because that's what I wanted because I didn't want to have wood and stuff. I like for dust to be able to go through and all that stuff. So I saved the tops of every single one of them and was planning to use them for me. Some of these are a little bit of a pain to get in and out though, because they're really made to just go on the top. pretty hard to get out of the middle.
Clint said, look at all the containers and lids up there by the mini split. Yeah, I've seen them. That was some deal where they rung up cheap or something, and then you went and got a bunch more of them. I don't remember the story behind those, but that's the reason he's got a million of those. And they just happen to be red and black, so. Matt said, you're only going to be in the tall grass tonight instead of the weeds. Somebody said, I thought that she found his little Debbie stash there for a second. No, I don't think he's got a little Debbie stash. Usually once he locks in, he's pretty good.
Yeah, now, like if I felt like it would help me any, I would have just left this here and left the top one. I could have just used it like a doorway, but it's like all I'm gonna gain is that one top shelf.
Oh yeah, because you could fit under there.
But I mean, I still could do that. It is at least a top shelf. I may do that. I don't know. But I think my pole is on this side of this plug, if I remember right. So that would give me, which there'll be a pole there. So I'm gonna lose some. So if I make a door opening and leave this so that I can keep the wire shelves, which like I said, I can cut down shelves and put in there, and like they just have to be wood, and I don't really like it. Yeah, like I'd probably looking at least probably a 32-inch opening at the minimum.
Well, they sell 32-inch doors, so obviously there are openings that are 32 inches. And it's mostly
going to be this kind of stuff that's in there, so I don't care to walk through a 32-inch door for that. I gotta find my hammer.
It's not worth a whole lot more work just to gain a few inches.
It's not what she's. Here, I'll move y'all kind of. Maybe if we come over, that might be better. The only thing I'm not going to mess with, because the electrical wire goes from this plug to wherever the next one is down there, and then it goes on around and catches all sorts of things. And if I cut it, it's going to kill my internet and everything be good, but I won't have any lights. So I'm just going to leave that. And I've already went on the other side and took the metal down and pulled the 2 foam boards out because it's dark over there. I have 0 light, so there wasn't no sense in trying to do that so you guys could see all that, because you weren't going to see anyways.
TPG said, is it in the wall or on the other side of the wall?
On the other side of the wall. The electric.
Yeah, I'm assuming he was asking about the electric. Matt said, you'd think there's a tool that tells you if there's a metal pole in the wall.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right here. I think it's on this side. Actually, though, it might be on the other. It might. No, it's right there. Yeah.
He just found it.
Yeah. I knew it was by that plug, because that's how I didn't put in these plugs. They were mounted to the poles already, and I just left them where they were.
Mr. Darth Vader said, I love his videos. He's given me inspiration I've needed in my search for the perfect bit case. I have quite a few renditions, different ideas based off of holders and cases he has. I'll send him pictures if he's interested. Yeah, you can put them on the community page.
Yeah.
A lot of people post stuff up there.
He can post them on there too.
Yeah.
I did this whole picket fence wall. I know it's a little bit weird, like, because I've not seen it anywhere else in anybody's garage. Again, I did it because it was cheap at the time. Plywood was like, it was either after hurricane, COVID,
it was
whatever
a hurricane that went through Houston, I believe.
Because for the longest time, I just put up this white plastic, and it was on my walls, the ceiling. It's still on my ceiling, which I'm going to do the ceiling at some point and do different lighting once I get the kayaks going. But I got tired of whenever I stuck stuff on my shelves, it was poking holes in this, and I had to tape it and do a bunch of stuff. So I was like, I need to put something on the wall, but I didn't want to go buy plywood. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like other than it shrinks and you get some gaps, but you can't really. It's not that bad on some of them.
I like the look of it better than plywood
But
too.
the biggest thing though is like at any point in time, if I ever want, like I ran a different electric in places and stuff, like all I gotta do is take off a few boards and then like I can run back. It's actually pretty handy, to be honest with you.
And it was definitely more cost effective because I can't even remember what the sheets of plywood went up to after that hurricane. It was crazy. Yeah, Matt said it's better than OSB. OMG, ugly. I mean, that's what I think. I like OSB is ugly to just have exposed. And this at least like has some grain and knots and stuff in it. I kind of like it.
And the stink bugs have been.
They're back.
I took that metal off, and I mean, I'm talking about that because that was the outside of the building, the metal on the other side. And I mean, they were loving it in there. They've been in, it was crazy how many were in there. Yeah, the other side was more work than this side. I had to get all the metal off. There's a window from right here to down there, which was originally where I was going to put the door. When I took the window out, I was going to kind of put it in the middle, but then I kind of liked it better on this end. And the concrete was a little bit easier to be where I want it to be on this end because this concrete's kind of sloped like, this downhill that way.
Matt said the highest he had seen was during COVID, 98 for a sheet of CD. I was thinking it was like 60 something a sheet during the time that we were looking at
I use 7/16 OSB most of the time for like my shelves like this that I build, and I wasn't even like I'm not even building them shelves because it was like $50 or $60 a sheet for this 7/16 OSB.
Yeah, I was thinking
which
when
used
we
to be
priced
like
it for
I
the
remember
walls,
times when it was like $8.
Yeah, when we priced it for the walls out here, I want to say it was 60 something a sheet, and we were like, that's crazy. Matt said he was buying walnut plywood because it was actually cheaper than the OSB. A vacuum cleaner makes quick work of stink bugs or ladybugs.
See what this is.
Yeah, I've been seeing ladybugs again too.
But y'all, so this would be 39. So that other pole must be. No, right there's the pole. So I'd only be going to there. Yeah. So, yeah, that's like 33. But I'll have to put something obviously there, and I can gain a few more to there. I hate to take that off just to do that, but I think I will. We'll see.
Take what off?
I gotta get that board's kind of in the middle. That I gotta take. I'll see. I ain't doing that today, anyways. That can stay though. This need to come off, I guess. But we'll go ahead and cut that. I gotta get my knife and then bring my.
It's been really nice to have the other side opened up because you can get all the way down to the new section and all that. So when this side gets opened up, we're going to be able to get to every square inch of the garage over the garage. The old part, the new part, all of it. Oh, the big reveal. And there's the pole. Let's see your moves on the pole.
Yeah, because if I put the door, it's not a big deal to get rid of the pole. Like over there, I just put a 2x10. I screwed it into the top of the pole and then screwed it to the next ones. And I mean, there's really no weight up there other than unless you're up there on the roof. But I'd have a little patch hole right there in that concrete, and I don't think it's worth it for me to cut that out just to gain another,
It'd be about
6
3
or 7
or 4
inches or something.
I mean,
and it just gives me more storage around the corner.
Is this my side? And I'm not going to let him put his stuff in it. No, so the building out back that we have has finished space that's got like, it's got indoor outdoor carpet in it and drywall, like finished walls and finished drywall ceiling and lights and everything in it. That is supposed to be my section. And I have my Christmas tree and like decorations and stuff like that in there, but he has been creeping into my back building with some of his scaffolding and ladders and trim pieces from every job that he can't throw away and pack rat lumber. So he's getting out of my building. So I am getting my own space by him doing this, and by default, I'm going to get my space back, basically, that I had before.
So what I had here on the other side was blue rigid foam board against, like in between here and then against here, and then the metal was on the outside of that. And that's why I just ran 2x4s. These I put in before I did this and before I did the plastic. I just put these are just screwed into those metal poles, you know, running like furniture. But I got to go on to the other side of the poles now and build basically the same thing. That's how I did it over there, except for I spaced them a little bit closer together.
I can bring them a little closer to the action over here.
I'll get my drink.
You can see some metal back there that he took down. Well, it's turned around. It's red metal that was on the.
But here's my, the electric.
Oh yeah, there's the electric. Don't nick that.
What I'll do is I'll cut it at that last plug, or actually I'll cut it here, come up with that into a switch box, and then come out of that and tie it back into whatever the next plug is after this one. Actually, over there I ended up putting one up in there just in case I needed one later.
Well, you'll have to have switches for in that
there.
Section anyway.
Yeah. I'm gonna get the sawzall and cut them 2x out of the way.
So the garage doesn't have studs, but poles instead. Well, it has both actually, because it started as just poles, and then when
this garage is poles with 2x4s run horizontal, kind of like a
this old section was like a pole barn to start with, and then when he finished it out he had to run these.
The inside of it looked like this whenever I moved here. It was just the inside of that metal. That's all you could see with the poles.
And then he basically almost like what you'd call furred it out with the 2x4s running the other way. Okay, plug your ears. Well, until you get that electric out of the way, you're not really going to be able to walk through there.
This I got to make sure not to.
Oh, Matt says your noise canceling is working good. It's actually pretty quiet. I see a stink bug down there on the floor.
I mean, I think that's a big enough walkway to go through.
BMCK said sparks get more views if you cut into your power. Oh yeah, that's big enough.
I said, and making this shorter actually gives me more room for storage back there. And so I'm wanting to get this open because I was able to get some of these file cabinets here from, let me hide the hide my board. I can't give y'all answers to the future guest of the trade.
So he picked up these
Yeah.
3 cabinets from my office. They were going to get rid of them. You can see the post-it on there that says dump. They were going to take them to the dump. And I said, oh no,
But now
Mr. Morgan will take those.
I'm going to put them at the end of one of these.
Yeah.
Just because it's like free shelves, basically. And then that way I can always, that can be deeper on the ends. It's not going to affect me like this way. But right now I'll have, I'm going to do the tape. I got 3 of them up there.
Yeah.
So I'll end up having, which I got to build out a little bit right there. Yeah, I got 5 foot from here to the back there.
I could sleep back there.
But I'm gonna build it out probably a foot away from that wall so that all that line set and all that stuff.
Kiltronic said plenty of glove storage. You'll have one whole filing cabinet for just gloves.
But yeah, this is the metal that was on the outside, and I don't have any lights in here, so basically this wall looked like should be, I had this
foam board.
Except for the electric was on my side of it, so it was kind of like beforehand.
Whoa.
You get the idea.
Yeah, so in preparation to do this, this afternoon, he cut the metal off.
Yeah, because I don't have lights in here. Now I can go, let me go turn on my lights for down there, and that'll put some light in there.
Well, and then,
because I don't have the sheeting up.
He can walk you around a little bit. I was going to ask how this comes off, and then you can just walk around. There you go.
Yeah, so there's all the metal I took off. I went ahead and just cut it into pieces. But here's the original framing, and they're pretty thick poles. These aren't like the carport you go see today. They're not this stout. These are really thick poles. But see, I basically planned on like this. That'll knock off real easy right there, that concrete. But I've got it exactly flush. Now this one's a lot better. I could come back this way. It was pretty good back here too as far as the concrete. Like I had to have a step over on this side. That's for this building. I already had this curb on here because my yard slopes real bad from this side to this side, and it's tied in with my driveway and all that. I couldn't change any of the elevations if I wanted to without getting into
that's why
big expensive mess.
That's why the garage addition is sloped the way it is.
There's my knife.
Yeah. The back, the back side of the garage addition is almost like built into the hill a little bit.
So now what I'll do is I'll come over on this side, take 2x stuff just the same, screw them to these poles on this side, put the insulation back in there just because I've got it, and then sheath all this.
No, Elliott Parrish, I'm not up to date on OSHA standards. I'm not even wearing shoes. I'm out here with socks on.
But yeah, let me get down here. So let's see, there was a window here that I had already filled in on this side, as far as on the inside where you couldn't see it, but it was still out here on the outside of the building. And then here's all those daggone stink bugs that's been living back behind that metal. But basically this here is what the outside of the building looked like. Like I said, I came in and put all this foam board and stuff in there, and it's the same way on my ceiling. I've got it on my ceiling. So my ceiling framing is exactly like this too. 2x4 screwed into the metal poles, blue foam board insulation between all of it, and then it was wrapped in the red metal. I didn't have to take the red metal off. I could have just put my furring on top of it, but I just knew at some point in time it would end up causing me a problem for something I wanted to do, and I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it off.
Well, it's got those waves in it. You know, I feel like it's easier to work with furring strips on a flat surface than the metal that has those waves.
Yeah, I was gonna put on my Klein polarized,
Uh-huh.
but I can't see.
He is the absolute worst at not wearing it protective stuff.
But this right here too, if I've got enough room, I mean, I could put like my miter saw stand or
Yeah,
just right in that corner.
something.
So I might as well take this down. I may swap that to the 12-inch shelves though, if I'm gonna put more shelves that depth in there. 'Cause I think these are 18. Yeah, like 18 usable. If I did 18 would be fine for them totes right there. 18 is what I was gonna do in there on that back wall. So this whole entire wall will have shelves, like that wall over there. I'm gonna put it on that wall instead of this wall because the framing's 16 on center over there. I got a lot more framing over there.
Well, that whole.
But I mean the whole entire thing. Because I don't have any windows or any. This is the only door I'll have in this whole entire thing. So
Hold
like
on. Let me. Let's.
So over here, go to this side first.
Let me see this.
Yeah.
So this whole.
This whole wall.
When you walk in here, this whole entire wall.
The outside wall.
Yeah, it's just going to be storage. And then deep storage.
Yeah, will be on the two ends.
Back here on this end and
because
this other end.
The two ends won't affect me. Like I can't have a 24-inch deep shelf, right here because then I can still fit in that, but I don't want that.
No, I wouldn't do that.
But 18, deep. I still got plenty of room with 18.
What about this inside wall? Is it going to get anything on it?
No, that's going to be my walkway to get to all the storage.
Okay.
So an 18 is what this file cabinet is over here. So that's why I'm saying I can build 18-inch shelves. So
this section, look, light switch to get into here.
Yeah, so this is 18 inches. So this is what my shelves if I build them 18.
Oh yeah,
so,
and then you got plenty of room.
I got plenty of room. And then those are deeper because I don't have to worry
about. And see, there's not a window on that other side.
Or a door going
or
to the
anything.
garage.
Yeah. This faces the road, so this is why I wanted windows in this section. He fought me on it, but you see there's a window, don't you? And then this is going to get finished out the same way, like the walls, the ceiling, the lights, all that stuff. Should look
I might can
exactly
take the ceiling up a hair higher over there because I don't have.
And then
no, I still got
this
the
shelf.
Actually, I'm already going to be taller over there because I'm not going to have this step.
This shelf you put back here is pretty deep. Is that how deep those are going to be?
Yeah. Those are like 20, those are close to 24. Well, actually, I'll make them however, them file cabinets are 26 inches deep. So I'll do those file cabinets and then shelves above them, 26 inches or whatever they are, whatever those file cabinets are. And
this is the wall eventually that I think he's going to build something to hold his bags and his vest and his tool pouches and all that.
I'm going to see if I can talk Klein Tools and give me some of that Klein wall stuff. If you're listening, Klein. Something that has like some hooks and some shelves, and then he can put all of his bags. Maybe I need to get Steve's Woodshop and Tool Reviews to get me the hook up on that stuff. I'm pretty sure you have connection with not quite like Steve's Woodshop and Tool Reviews. He's sending pictures of stuff. Well, that's pretty anticlimactic, wasn't it?
Well,
didn't take very
somebody
long.
said
Most of the work was on the other side.
Somebody said, I think it was Matt. He said, "Grab your insulated tools and let's do some electric work." Hot electric work. He said
it'll kill everything in here, but the internet, because this goes all the way around and ties into everything. It ties into the lights too, because it goes up. And I remember the lights are like the last thing that I hit with it.
Yeah, TPG said, "Agreed, Matt." Yeah, we'd be in the dark. We'd have to put you on night vision. And look, all we've done is make a big mess again. Look, all this stuff came off those shelves.
All this wire was just ran in like the rib of that metal.
If we ever get this place put back together, I swear. Somebody said Steve got a
25 and take it.
Steve got a robot to clean his pool. I saw that.
T25.
Oh, TPG was agreeing with the Work Pro metal background.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of shelves because WorkPro has been asking me if I would want to try out any of their stuff, and they've got shelves that are kind of like this that I could, instead of building them in there, I could probably get them.
Well, haven't you already bought all the? Don't you have a bunch of?
I've got a bunch of
the
plywood. I don't
yeah.
have the framing.
Which the plywood, you didn't really buy for shelves. It was left over.
Yeah, I just didn't send it back.
I don't know. I think I like the way the wire shelving looks, but sometimes it's nice to have something that's solid and doesn't have the little grates in it. Like this stuff that you built, that's like solid. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you don't want on a holy shelf. A shelf with holes.
Yeah, so at some point, once I get the kayaks going, because see, basically my lighting in here is not great because
we get so many shadows because the kayaks
I don't really have any lights
blocking...
really down the middle or in this whole back section. Like where I'm at right now, I just got this. And so I think I'm going to do, plus this plastic has gotten to the age where if you barely touch it, it just explodes in certain spots. And, but I've got like 2-foot centers, 2x4s turned sideways. So I could easily just come in here and, you know, put something over top of it. And then I can run lights wherever I want to. So I probably will.
Well, we could repurpose some of these and put them in better positions and shine and face in better places.
I think I'll buy another 10-pack of those, and then I'll just do 2 of them. We'll do a whole run. I can do 5 whole runs in here for $100.
Yeah, the lighting is not. I mean, it's okay for like over the workbench.
I can see fine.
Well, I'm talking about for filming.
Working-wise.
Over the workbench, there's some. So when he's filming like tools and stuff, but when we're filming like ourselves,
let me see what
we don't have.
See my ceiling in
very
here.
Good lighting.
Let me see the tape again. I'm gonna come in here to this cantilever. See the ceiling. The ceiling will be able to be a lot taller in here.
Hold on, I'm gonna take y'all down
because I'm already gaining height because I don't have the step up. You know, so I got that extra amount.
Yeah, on the other side.
And then this side over here.
This is just flush.
This side over here, this side of my building compared to that side's already lower anyway. So my walls had to be taller. That's why I had to buy taller sheathing. So
yeah,
I should be able to run my ceiling. I should be able to get 8.5 feet ceilings in here, pretty close to it. I only have I've got a little less than 8 in there.
Well, but the only thing is, you want to do what works out with the material better.
Well, I'm raising it up, just cutting the thing on the bottom. Yeah, I just need. I'm not boxing that in. I'm just gonna blow it. That's what I did in there. I didn't want to have to.
Yeah, so that holds all the way to the front porch area.
Yeah.
Each side has one of those big things that runs back in here. So then you have to build out around it.
But after I move my son, I'm going to take my trailer, load up all this metal.
Yeah, we
got the metal. I've got the metal from the other side back in my barn where the skid steer is, and so I can get rid of all that and get out of my way.
And then we can get this insulation put up.
Yeah, and start putting up sheathing. So I'm going to try to get the insulation and sheathing up on this wall even before I start working on this. That way I can go ahead and bring some of this stuff in here and get out of my way. Like even if I get the shelves built. This must have been, I don't know if JV's watching, but this must have been, JV must have been putting up this.
Somebody missed a whole, somebody missed a whole, I don't know if y'all can see that.
JV must have been, actually that could be it could be for the outside sheathing and not this
all
sheathing.
The way up nails that got missed. Oh well. Matt said, don't move stuff over and over. It's not fun. Yeah, that's been all of it's like this stuff right here that we just moved. Now it's a big pile sitting here.
Yeah, and it never fails. Whenever you do this,
I guarantee you.
I need that. I'm going to need that MC cable
back
there for my next job.
Tomorrow morning, he's going to need something back there. Yeah. Oh. But I don't spend as much time out here as he does. It'd stress me out. I can't with the clutter. Gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I think I will move that 12-inch shelf to right there.
This seems
because it works really good for fasteners, and I want my fasteners in here.
I got you. I think I got you're a little high.
We might as well flop around. I don't think there's anything
Well,
else we can do.
you go sit in your chair and I'll get you lined up here.
And check out how we're looking on the cameras.
Well, Clint was laughing because I said we don't have good lighting when we film ourselves, and he said film yourself. I was talking about when we do lives or whatever.
You can see what it looks like when it's dark outside on these cameras probably now too, because it's a little bit darker outside.
Yeah, like this camera system. Listen, this is fancy stuff, and we had some cameras, but now we've got cameras on every inch of the property and further back than what they went before and everything. Nobody's sneaking up on us. So this is...
Yeah, it's definitely a lot darker out there right now than what that even looks like right there.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of grass coming in. That's all the stuff I sowed.
Oh, yeah, that's all
what
our
I sowed
new grass.
last year.
See that building?
Yeah,
the red barn?
That's her section there.
That's my she shed that he's invaded. What else can we show them? Oh, there's the big new section. That's basically, as you can see, it's a workstation.
And then at some point we're going to redo our driveway, but I was waiting until we need all new blacktop. There's my trailer.
Look.
Yeah,
apparently our son just got home. There's the trailer. Loaded up, ready to go. But yeah, it's nice to be able to see everything. And that it's always on. It doesn't matter if the internet goes out, like none of that stuff. Okay, you sit in your little seat over there.
Gotta get my tablet moved over, y'all.
I'm done moderating. I'm probably, especially if he's back home, I'm probably going to go in the house and see if he needs any help loading some more things, or we got to put some nightstands together.
Yeah. So I can go. But you can probably still see the TV from where you're.
What are your plans for your son's bedroom? So when our first son moved out, I got a home gym already. So the second son moving out is just going to be a guest room.
Let's see. Zoom.
And he's leaving his bedroom furniture here since he has furniture down there. So it's pretty much already set up.
I'm not exactly sure if you can do it slowly. I haven't really done it, but I know you can. Like right there's a zoom.
Digital zoom. Somebody
You just got to go slow.
Knippers, question mark.
That's what's over there. I got him in there to pull those nails out over there. But yeah, you can zoom.
Oh, I was thinking nibblers, which is what you cut that metal with. I thought they were asking about nibblers. Wow, that's great zoom.
Yeah, I need to work. Yeah, here. Yeah, I got nails where they don't come out of that wall that I got to pull out. So I set those in there.
What have you got? That's weird.
It's Inception.
Yeah, I don't think I'd leave it on while you're filming
yours.
stuff. Yeah, that's my phone. I'm going to exit stage left since I'm done moderating. I'll see you on the next one. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. And I'll see you on the next one.
We called it the Catch a Handyman. Yeah, the weather was finally like, I waited because whenever I opened up this side over here, it got like, that's when it was really cold.
I just realized I still have my mic on, so I'm glad I didn't start talking crap about
them stupid people.
Talking crap. No, I mean about you to Carter. I'll start talking crap about you. Your dad. There you go.
It does cut off when you go in the house because I went in there the other day. It's not. As soon as I cut that hole open without having my ceiling in there and the walls finished, that door in, like it was cold in here no matter how much I ran the heat because it was just so much, like it just wouldn't be able to keep up. So then I waited to do the window, but I wanted to do the window before I did the camera system. And now it's finally gotten, like, every now and then we're probably still going to have a few cold days here or there, but it never gets that cold in here unless it's like 0 and teens outside type of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so I can start working on that. She can talk crap about us. We're adults. We're supposed to be getting a storm here sometime in the morning. I think we're supposed to get, some stuff here in the next I think tomorrow is supposed to be, because we were going to move. My son tomorrow, he actually closes tomorrow, and we were going to go ahead and move tomorrow night. But now we're going to move Thursday. That's why I said I might not be able to do a live. Might still have a live. I don't know that we won't, but we might not. So I decided I'd go ahead and come out here tonight. And I've been wanting to get that done. I've had it, man, ever since March, like crazy business wise, like so much stuff to do, so many people calling. January and February were a little bit slow, but they always have been for me. But now it's like I've got 15,000 things to do. But that at least lets me start tinkering on it instead of having to go around and climb up into the wall with my ladder and try to get stuff over in there. Now I can just come out here. If I get home at 2:00 in the afternoon, I want to work for a couple hours, I'll come out here and put in insulation. I'll come out here and hang a couple sheets of sheathing. What's up, Keys? $33 this morning. It was a little bit chillier this morning. We had a lot of fog this morning, but it's been getting up in the 70s and stuff during the day here. More money for tools. Yeah, I actually filmed a video yesterday for some tools that I had never heard of them before, but I had them send them to me, and I was going to put it out today, but then I thought, well, if I'm going to do a live today, I'll wait. I'll probably put it out tomorrow. And then I've got some other tools that I still need to make a video for. What's up, Roy Phipps? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've been seeing, like at the Klein Mod Box stuff and the Klein Wall stuff, that I'm hoping I get to see that kind of stuff in person whenever I go there. I'm going to be going there here in the next little bit. I hope I get to see some of that stuff in person and check it out, because I've only been seeing it like in videos. I wouldn't mind having some of that stuff on like my wall in there or something or other. But I really like the double dolly mod box, like toolbox almost. I want to thank Steve's Woodshop for Velocity for drill pod. 83 and sunny here in PA. I'll be glad when it gets to staying. Like, I don't necessarily like it being super hot. I'd rather it be super hot than cold, but I'll just be glad when you don't have to wear 2 different sets of clothes every day. Afternoon, you're burning up. Morning, you're cold. So how many of y'all have got new Beto bags already? How many of y'all kicked in with the spring promotion? I haven't bought anything. I don't really honestly plan on it. I don't think I'm going to buy anything, and if the Evo bags come out and I can get the MCT and the spring promotion still going on, I might get that. I still don't know for sure that I will. I am wanting the pouches. The new Cube Kickstarter looks interesting. Getting a used TP6B from Jeff. That's the bag my buddy carries around, is a TP6B. He really likes it. I ordered my buddy the Crescent tool cart with the free bag. I think it shipped today. he finally. We actually saw the Crescent tool runner back when it first came out. Our Home Depot had like one of them on display. Mine doesn't carry them anymore though. Like they don't have them. And we looked at it, and that was at the time where we had just bought the Hyper Toughs, and we were like, man, $300. I was like, it's a nice cart, but I don't know. The one I got's working for me for $50 type of thing. But then after he's seen mine and seen that you can do more stuff with it and all that, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to end up buying me one of those. And he almost went ahead and paid full price for it. Like he said, he's just about to make the decision to go ahead and get one. And then that morning, Sam Held sent me an email saying, I don't know if you know this or not, but Acme's got the price has dropped on it. So I went and checked it out, and I told him, and he's like, oh, you think you could get that for me? As far as, because he doesn't have, like, I've already got an account at Acme Tools. It's just a matter of me pushing a couple buttons. And so Site Runner's $400 now. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that went up. I think the MP2X Evos are going to sell out fast. I agree. Elliot got his SBLDT in today. A little bigger than the SBLD. Uncle Sam's getting my money. Don't know how much yet, but income tax sucks for us self-employed guys. Yeah. I normally don't pay in at the end, but I pay in more during the quarters whenever I'm paying I've got my quarterly set up to where, like, I've got an Excel sheet that just tells me how much to pay. And that's based on without any deductions or anything like that. And then I kind of figure it up my last payment before I send it in to how much I should have to be paying. So I don't have to, but I end up getting pretty close on mine to where normally I don't have to pay in. I usually even get a little bit back, but I'm still paying it. I'm just paying it throughout the year. Yeah. Your taxes self-employed makes you really angry when you see some of the stuff you see on TV. Not that you still aren't paying taxes and quite a bit if you're employed. You just don't think about it the same as writing them big old checks. I still owed thousands after massive deductions. It's part of tax time. Could have been Site Runner money. Yeah, that section over there that I just opened up is going to be like, I'll have more storage in there than I even have in here. Really, probably. But I'm planning on leaving like my bigger stuff, like my table saw, the bigger saws that I take and put in my truck that actually take places with me. They're not really big, but they're, bigger tools. Those I'm just going to leave in here. I'm going to try to make it to where the bulk of everything I get all the time is in here. And then the stuff that I get occasionally is in there, along with any kind of overflow. And then this over here is just bonus. Like, I'll probably stick more stuff in here since there's not as much storage. It's kind of like my, working on my cars or, the stuff I might use around the house and not even so much for work. That's probably what I'll kind of put back in that area. Cause I buy a lot of tools sometimes to do a job on my truck or, one of our cars that I may not even ever use again, but it's cheaper for me to go buy that tool and buy the parts and do it myself and not have to go drop it off somewhere and do all that kind of stuff. So I just go ahead and buy it, but I'll have it in case I need it, the next time, or maybe somebody else is going to do it on their car and I can let them borrow it or, whatever it is. The daycares in Minnesota appreciate you doing your taxes early. I know whenever you see stuff like that and they're just like, act like it's no big deal. It's like, pretty big deal to me. I mean, you could tell me that you had $10,000 worth of fraud, and I'd be pretty ticked off about it, let alone like $9 billion worth of fraud. $4,400 this year is what you had to pay in, Jeff, or at the end, or is that what you're getting back? See you, Tim. Yeah, I can't remember how much I paid in total. And I can't pull it up on my... I don't think I can get to it from here. Let me see real fast. I might can get to it from here. Mm-hmm. 2020. I don't know if this will let me pull it up or not. It's kind of on two sheets. So 60. Let me see what it was last. See if this one will pull up. No, I remember I accidentally erased my 2024 Excel sheet. I started putting my 2025 on it and forgot. So I ended up paying, let's see, 16, 17, 19, 20, 20, and then if you add in this, I paid about $25,000 last year in taxes. Total. That's just roughly, if I went in and actually looked into some of my, that's not counting the any kind of local stuff or anything like that. That's just federal and state. Elliot said, Klein, are you listening? Hook this man up. Yeah, so I'm going to be going to Klein here in a little while, and I'm hoping I get to see some of the stuff I've been seeing in person. After you paid the quarterly. Fair to lose 30 to 40% off the top and then more. Yeah, that's what it kind of comes out to. I think I've got my stuff figured to come in at, and this is how it's worked out for me. As I take money in before I factor in any kind of deductions for like vehicle or, any of that kind of stuff, I think it comes out to I'm taking out like 25% or something like that is what I'm figuring to pay my quarterlies every time based on what I've made throughout the year. And then the last quarter, I actually do my taxes before that quarter thing is due, because it's not usually due till like January the 15th, that last quarterly. And then I kind of see what I should owe and then base my last payment based on that. Got to pay for the hobo camps around here. Local fire department is working out of an old car dealership building from the 1940s. Really need a building, but because of all the waste spending in our country, they have an uphill climb. Yeah, that's like I said, that's what really irritates you when you start seeing you like, okay, so I paid again compared to $9 billion, 25,000. But if you take 25, it's what I say about taxes all the time. It's like everybody's like, when we need to tax these people more, like certain, and pick whatever group you think you want to tax more. It's like, no, it's like they're taxing everybody way too much right now. Like everybody should be getting taxed less, and they should spend less because they're wasting it. They're just throwing it away. Like there's no telling how much waste that there actually is. It's unreal probably, because just think about the little amounts that they actually uncover and say something about. That's a drop in the bucket to what it actually is. Open a tool daycare. Yeah. Rent a tool. Take Jeff up on a limo service. Oh yeah, I'll be so glad to get them shelves in there. This has been the whole entire process of doing this, which is the case with anything. It's just whatever it is, and just doing it whenever I have time. But I can't. I mean, y'all have seen like my truck, and like even like this has always got stuff on it because it's my flat space. Like what Matt says, flat spots. But whenever you're just moving stuff around real fast to temporarily put something somewhere because you're planning on doing something, and then something happens and you don't get to finish it, or it's a week-long process to get it done so you can get the stuff off your flat space. It's been driving me crazy. Like I like everything. I don't necessarily. I've got a few things that are like they're always in the same spot. Like a lot of times the stuff in my drawers and totes and stuff. I mean that's where they go, and they typically go back to the same spot. But because I do so much stuff, I've always got stuff like especially like those fasteners. Like I don't have a specific space for every fastener because I just buy them in bulk, and whenever I run out, I may not need those again for a while. So then something else kind of shifts to that spot. But it's still, I got general areas where stuff go. And right now, for the last like month and a half, it's just been chaos in here, and it starts to drive you crazy. But also curious to see if like I moved my internet. My internet was plugged in on that little small shelf with the fasteners, and it was over on that side. I moved it whenever I was moving all this, so now it's kind of in the middle. And then over time, what I want to try is maybe I'll do a live down on that other side without adding another mesh one time and see how that works out. And then if it kind of gets glitchy, then I'm gonna add another box out here. I've got a couple extra ones in the house anyways, but I'm not gonna do it unless I need to because I kind of like having those for spares. $358 to Mansfield for the Bowery boy. Talking hand tools. I love being organized. I seldom am though. Oh, I can't stand like there's a few times where like this last week I was working at a rental house doing a bunch of repairs, and it was taking a lot of different stuff. Like we were doing drywall repairs, ripping out subfloor, fixing bottom of a vanity cabinet was rotted out and that's what caused the subfloor damage. Demoed out tile floor, put in a new floor, put in some shower doors, all kinds of stuff. And it was just so many different things. And then so I had so much stuff in my truck, and it was just and then I was trying to bring home as much of the burnable trash to burn it because he didn't really have a dumpster or anything like that. Because he told me, the owner said he'd get rid of, I said, I can get rid of a lot of the stuff that you got. I said, but I can't get rid of everything without, going to the dump. And he said he had a dumpster he owned some like commercial buildings and stuff like that. So we left like the tile and all that kind of stuff. But man, my truck was just every day back of it, just crammed full. And then it's the same thing as what I just said about that MC cable a minute ago. It's like where I just stacked all this stuff. It's like, sure enough, I'll need that. And that's the way it is in the back of my truck on those back drawers. Like I'll have like that Sawzall, or my 18 gauge nailer is in the Klein drawer, but I've got like my miter saw pushed up against it or whatever it is. And it's like, you got to sit there and maneuver all that stuff to get that out, which is one thing I like about the deck drawers is no matter what I put in the back of my truck, nothing is blocking those deck drawers to getting those tools out. So that's pretty nice. But yeah, even having my truck like that for like a few days, it's like, I can't wait to just get that stuff out of my truck so I can move stuff around. That's why I don't do a 24-inch wide service cart. I stick to the 18. The more space you give yourself, the more you'll use. But so far, I still haven't turned the air conditioner on my toe soap, but I've been running the dehumidifier function on it, and it's basically so like my dehumidifier puts out hot air. Like if I run it, it puts hot air out into here. But that I guess basically uses the air conditioner to dehumidify because it's been like, well, I'll come in here and it's cold. Like whenever I come in here, even if it's 70 degrees outside, I've been coming in here. I'm like, man, it is cold in here, but and that's not even putting it on air. That's just running the dehumidifier side of it. So seems to be working good anyway. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I should be able to free up even like a lot of that stuff that's over there on my shelves behind y'all that I was over there working near. Most of that stuff doesn't even need to be in here. I just never had anywhere else to put it. So now all that stuff can go into these spaces that I don't come in and out of every day to get. Because like I've even got scrap boards just sitting up there that I randomly get out. Like tomorrow, I started working at a commercial space today. They've got a new tenant coming in that has to have a bunch of ADA stuff, so I had to change out all their handles, the levers, and uh, they had a vanity sink, and they needed to put in a wall mount sink. So I went in there and demoed out the vanity today, cut out some drywall so I can get in there and put some blocking in. And then so if I need blocking, I just come over here, come in and grab a few of whatever it is I need over there and throw it in the back of my truck, a bunch of little cutoffs. So that's why I keep some in here, but I probably won't keep that much in here, but I never had anywhere else to put it. Don't forget to like the stream, Shiny Ricardo Garcia said. Appreciate that. Have you put mini split in Buddy's garage yet? No, I think he was supposed to get I didn't ask him. He was picking up all the electrical stuff today, like the disconnect and his breaker and all that kind of stuff. But hey, he's still waiting on the indoor unit got delivered. The outdoor unit was supposed to be delivered Monday, and I forgot to ask him today if it came in. And I've got the tracking on it. I didn't look it up though. So he's waiting on that. And then we'll have to find, a time to do it. Probably end up having to do it on a Saturday or something. But yeah, I got a debate on if I want to change out that one shelf because see all that stuff is going to pretty much go in there probably. I'd rather have my fasteners in here, the bulk ones, and I like those 12-inch shelves better. Because if I have the longer shelves, most fastener boxes aren't very big, even those big ones. I'll end up having them stacked behind the other one, even though that's more storage. But I don't want to have to sit there and dig through fasteners every time to get a box out. I'd rather have it to where it's just that's the only thing that can go there because I'll have plenty of room. So I think I'm just going to do that. I think I'll probably put the 12-inch shelves in there. I might go ahead and just leave that instead of putting that smaller end on. I might just go ahead and leave the bigger one up, and then that way I could change it back and forth. That'd probably be best. I can then do a mix even. I might do big shelves on the bottom and then just do the small ones on the top. We'll figure it out. $12 to $18 are perfect. Yeah, I don't like anything bigger than usually. The only time I do bigger is if it's for big tools because I don't like having stuff stacked behind something else. And if you do 24, there's always room behind the other things. That's like right now behind all my pack out over there, there's like about this much room, which I slid sawhorses, like those ones I don't use as much anymore. They're back. Like I usually stick stuff back there that's like, I don't know if I'll ever use it again or not, but I want them because sometimes, just like right now, all those sawhorses, I ended up getting out and taking down there in the bottom and been putting lumber and sheathing and everything else on them. But that's the first time I've used them in a long time. now since you opened up wall and make more room for activities. Yeah, my whole floor should end up being open out here after I get everything said and done. This thing, I was going to put this, the U.S. General cart, I was going to put that over there where I ended up, but those fit in there so well. I was like, nah, I'm just going to do that because this, my U.S. General cart rows so nice with those swivel casters. It's easy for me to just push it against the wall and get out of my way. And then, like I said, I think what I'm going to do here, just for hiding all those cables and stuff, which I could either put something up back here and just run those cables through to where you can't see it. But I think I'm actually going to make me something that covers all this. And then the sides and everything will still be open. Like, it'll get plenty of air back here. It's not going to get hot. And I don't know what I'm going to do on it yet. I thought about mounting all my chargers and stuff on it, or I might just get a sign or something rather than put up there just so you don't see all that back in there. And then I only put this here just because it gives me another spot to stick some stuff. And this was already going up to that height, and I just cut it off to here because I did lose that shelf. I did have one of those shelves here, but I took it out so that it wasn't so close to that mini split. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool to have a sign or something that says something there. But yeah, I think what I might do, instead of swapping this for this, that 12-inch, I'm just going to leave this 18-inch one there, and I might just take some 12-inch shells and swap out with some of these 18s, and I might still use some 18s in there. But then that way, if I want to later, I can change that back to 18s because I'll keep whatever I take out of there, because I might even add, take some of these out, change it to some of those down there. Because see, there's all that blocking I was talking about I can get rid of. But like, that is like seat belts and anything I've taken out of my truck that's smaller, like other than the seats are in the house, but those are like extra pieces that I've taken out of my truck. I don't need those in here because I'm never going to use those for work. So that can go somewhere else. I just got all kinds of stuff like that in here that I don't need in here. What's up, Brian Hall? Just sent me an email. I'll check that out whenever I always turn the do not disturb on anymore whenever I do these, because my other camera system, it seems like if somebody hits it and it gets notifications on my phone, it was messing it up every now and then. Might need a carpeted cat tree somewhere. We'll see you, Jeff. So tomorrow I got to go get backer board and all that stuff. I got to replace tile where the vanity was, which luckily, because she had told me, she's like, I'm sure you're going to have to replace the whole floor whenever you take the vanity out, because we're putting just a wall mount sink up. And it was basically the vanity was put down in the floor type of thing. But I was like, man, I really don't want to take up this tile floor. Like, it's a tile floor and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, and it's on the 3rd floor. It's like, man, I don't want to do that. Surely I only needed like 6 tile is all I needed to fix it. So I started going around every closet around that whole entire building that I knew where they typically put stuff. And I finally found one box that had 7 tile in it. to end up keeping the Milwaukee single drawer. Yeah, I've got it. I keep it over there. I decided it actually works out pretty good for me in here because I stack a lot of that pack out, which I may not have to after I do this either, because I was starting to run out of room over there as far as places to stack it. So I just use it to stack some of my pack out on, but then that makes it so I can still get in it. So it's a pretty good drawer. So I decided to keep it. Am I feeling pure from the tea? Yep. This is the only tea that's unsweet that my dollar store even has. Like, that's it. Is this brand right here. It's up the road. What's up, Just Work? Watching the camera video, the Milwaukee cable stapler looked very good. I tell everybody that I see that if you do cable running, like of any kind, very much in your life, oh man, it's a game changer. It works perfect every time. Like, it's very few and far between that I've ever had, and it's usually because you hit a knot or something like that. It's not because of, it's the wood you're going into, not the stapler itself not doing what it's supposed to do. The few times that it has, but that's even still been very few and far between. Like, it is so nice. Make a picture of tea, have a maker in the kitchen. Yeah, I buy the Kroger like gallon jugs of it sometimes just to have. I don't drink it as much as I drink coffee, but every now and then I just don't want coffee. I usually just drink coffee and I just make it, but that's why I don't make it like in a big bunch, because I don't drink it all the time. Thank you, brother, for all the awesome videos. You appreciate it. You're welcome. Drinking pink lemonade. You're drinking that poison, you will get run out of the South. So is there a difference between pink lemonade and taste-wise and regular lemonade? That's the question. I don't know that I've ever noticed a difference. Other than food coloring of some sort. But I've never noticed a taste of pink lemonade being different. I don't know if they're supposed to be, but I've never noticed it if there is. So what are y'all working on this week? So I'm doing that back. I finished Monday at that rental house. I got all that work done. Like I said, it was running. I ran some can lights in the living room and in the kitchen. Regrouted the hall bathroom. Put in a shower door in the hall bathroom. It was like a walk-in shower, and I added a shower door. Fixed the master bathroom, the one that had a bad leak. Fixed the cabinet in that. Fixed the subfloor. Put a new floor in there. Robbed some of the floor out of the master bathroom closet to fix the master bedroom floor that got water damage too, and then redid the master bathroom closet and something else because they couldn't find the floor. And then fixed a couple doors, and then started that job today on the bathroom and changing out some stuff on the ADA stuff. I got to go look at some trim at a house later this week, and then I've got a lady who has, she said, a gurgling sound in her drains during the middle of the night that keeps waking her up. Like, it's not while she's running anything, she said, but every now and then drains just start gurgling in one of her bathrooms. So I told her she's probably got a backup somewhere or a vent problem or something. But then I got another house where I got to go look at some rot on garage door jams and the man door to the garage door jam. I got to stop by and check that out. I'm trying to think there's something else too. There's one other thing. I can't think of it. Oh, a bigger job where I got to do we got a bigger tile job to do, me and my buddy. And then we got a big commercial building changing out like this whole front section, big bank of windows, but it's a lot of framing more so than the windows. When you drink pink lemonade, I raise my pinky while drinking. Just work installing a water heater. Metal and poly sheets on barn roofs that were leaking. Fire alarm inspections all over Southern Illinois. Be visiting Superman in Metropolis Thursday. I've been to Metropolis back whenever I was younger. I remember going. We didn't go specifically to go to Metropolis. I don't know what we went. We went somewhere around there to do something as a family. It's whenever I was a kid. And I remember going to Metropolis. Glass fuse action, taping up some cloth wire. Roy Phipps remodeled a bathroom at the baseball field. New roof, rewire, sub panel, replumb. Turned out good, he said. Clint's playing with meat. Tile. Yeah, I hate tile. I could care less if I ever do tile again. Like the job at this one place where I'm patching 6 tile, all my cuts are like outside wall and baseboard and quarter rounds going back so it can match everything else in there. I'll just cut those with that little, either my grinder or that little M12. You can sit there and go back and forth, a little M12 cutting tool. Which, by the way, that thing with the tile cutting, like if you use the M12 little cutoff tool, put the tile blade on it. If you want to remove some grout, as long as you're like careful and don't just go to town hitting the sides of the tile, I mean, it just eats grout out like nothing. It does a pretty good job on that. But I've used even that to cut like tile just out there in the parking lot. If you're just doing a straight cut, you go back and forth over it enough, it finally gets through it. But yeah, I don't like doing big tile jobs. And this one we already did. It's the place where I used to work at. We already laid tons of tile there already, and they just keep like doing it in stages. And they got another section they want us to do. Talking hand tools, running 4-inch rigid, pulling 600 MCM feeders. Some ways meeting a potential new client for a punch on a remodel. Also started repairing an antique bench chair. Yeah, I need to. I think I'm still a little short on the R13 insulation for over there. I got a bag and a few pieces, but I think I'm gonna need another bag, which I'll probably still need because it should be about the same ceiling as what I put over here, and I'm probably gonna do the same thing I did over here and do R13 around the outside and then the R30 on the top. So I'll probably need to go ahead and pick up a bag of that. I may go ahead and do that tomorrow while I'm at the store. That way I'll have it here. And then I'm going to start throwing that sheeting up in there. Roby tile saw 4.5 one's a beast. Handheld water tank. Yeah, is that the one that looks like a circular saw? I've almost bought that a bunch of times, but again, I keep every time I think about buying some tile tools, I'm just like, I really don't want to buy any because I want to be able to tell people I don't have the ability to do that. I don't have the stuff. That's like even like the grout cleaning bucket thing that's got the sponge that goes through the roller, the big fancy grout cleaner. I've thought about buying that. I don't know how many times. I mean, every tile job and I'm cleaning grout, I'm just like, I ought to buy that bucket thing because it's supposed to be awesome or do whatever, clean a lot easier. And I never do buy it. I end up just doing it the same way I've always done it. Don't be the guy who gets just enough and goes back to Home Depot 3 times. That's the one benefit about being us, though. Like if you're working at home and it's not something where you have to get it done like that day type of thing, it's like I think I might have enough of that at the house. But it's like you make so many trips to Home Depot, it's not a big deal. It's not like tomorrow whenever I go, I'll pick up a little bit more. But yeah, you don't want to do it on a job. Missed the bonus live. How did the door opening go? Took me about 2 minutes. Took me longer to get the stuff off my shelves. But like I said, I already did the hard part. The hard part was going and getting the metal off the other side and cutting, because my top sheet, for one, it's like a 20-foot long sheets of metal. They were like the whole length. And I'm in that crowded spot. So I was sitting there cutting them up into little sections just so I'd be able to move them out later. And then the top piece folds over onto the roof, but I need to get rid of like at least the part that's on my wall area. So I was using this. I went down and cut it all off and got it out. It didn't take me very long to do that either, but that was more time consuming than this. Yeah, I have to go ahead and I'll probably deal with that electric tomorrow at some point. I'll just do it temporarily, like till I get just to get out of that walkway. I'll cut it right where it goes in that receptacle that I'm gonna get rid of, and I'll use that wire and come up into a switch box eventually, but I'll just end up tying it. I'll basically get rid of that small piece of wire and come tie another piece of wire onto it and go right back into that receptacle. Because I might, if I can leave it, I'll probably leave that receptacle there, or I might actually go ahead and move it over some at least, because it's pretty close right now to that doorway. But then that way, if I want to plug something up right there, I can. It'd be an easy plug to get to. No yawns. But yeah, it's been a crazy week and a half, and I had a lot of extra time. There's no rules in temporary. Oh yeah, I'll just take I had, matter of fact, I still haven't done it yet. I need to put a receptacle down here where I had the same thing. There I ended up cutting my wire whenever I was cutting my metal off, whenever I was actually building the building. I took a grinder up that corner and I forgot I had a wire running through there and cut it right in half. So then I ended up being able to pull out enough of it to put a box in down there, but I still got those just Wago connected, like right now. I've got them in a box now at least though, but I'm planning on putting a receptacle in right there. But yeah, I'll just take wire and put it to that wire with a Wago and just drape it across there to get out of my way. Don't be the guy who notched out door trim for a J box. Yeah, I'll probably move that because I've got that'd give me a little bit more wire coming back the other way too, because it's pretty tight. Probably it doesn't look like I got a whole lot. That'd give me more to that next, and then that way I can move that over. Because there might be times where I was actually just thinking about that today. Like I was mentioning earlier, like that dehumidifier actually runs like air conditioning to dehumidify. And there's been times in here where my humidity meter is still a little high. So like for that thing to keep running, it's going to be pretty cold in here, like to actually dehumidify the space, just because it's, probably got a lot of humidity with garage doors, and we just got a lot of rain and all that. So there might be some times where I still want to run like my other dehumidifier, just because I don't really want it to just be freezing in here type of thing. So I might still plug that up in here every now and then. Which it was crazy when I cut that, we kept working because my radio was still working and it's plugged in. Like, and then my buddy came in here and was like, "Your lights aren't working." And I was like, "Hmm." But because the radio was working, didn't even think anything about it. Like nothing quit while we were outside, and that happened. Like everything that was running was running. So I cut through it with that grinder wheel, and it never did. It didn't. Must have just done it so fast it didn't trip. Like two things didn't touch at the same time, or whatever. Didn't trip a breaker. Didn't do nothing. But that what I after the part after what I cut controls my lights and my garage door. So then I couldn't shut the garage door or didn't have any lights in here until I got that temporarily put back together. Put a camera aimed at the TV so it looks like an infinity picture. Yeah, I guess it's because it was a grinder disc more so than like a Sawzall blade. Talking hand tools, got a call once for a smoking plug. Got there to find someone plugged 2 lift chargers into a duplex outlet, then found the outlet hooked to a single pole 50 amp breaker. You take the humidity out of the air and it will be cooler. I worked at a plastics plant when production was going, they had dehumidification. I would go down, it would go down, but the temp would go up fast. Yeah, that will, because for sure, because it uses that, like I said, it's basically using air conditioning to dehumidify, which is what the air conditioner will do. Like a dehumidifier, like my little one over here, like this, you just plug in somewhere. It's not exhausting the heat out like what, it's just putting it out into the room. So sometimes that's blowing hot air back out into the room, where that one up there is not doing that. It's doing that outside instead of in here. But yeah, we've got a lot of rain in the last few days. I need to cut my grass. I've actually got my battery on my lawnmower on the charger. So it's about that time of year. I'll be cutting grass before you know it. I'll probably be doing it. I think we're supposed to get rain though, so I probably won't be doing it tomorrow. And then probably won't be doing it Thursday because we'll be moving. So this weekend will probably be the first time I cut my grass. It's not my grass that needs mowing so bad as it's my weeds that need mowing. Had no heating or cooling in the plant, just dehumidification. With my old man earmuffs, yeah, I need to be checking to see if I got some batteries for that thing. I'm sure that those are getting close to being dead too. That's made a big difference. Like Matt told me about those radio, because I only listen to the radio most of the time. Like that's why I don't use a lot of Bluetooth speakers and stuff, because I don't like messing with my phone and all that. But those 3M muffs with the radio in it work really good. Because I tried for a long time just 3M muffs, and then I'd put headphones in my ears for my phone, but it didn't work real well. You still couldn't hear uh, real great, but that radio I can hear plain as day with those over my lawnmower. It's these over here. 3M work tunes. That's what they're called, work tunes. Yeah, they work pretty good. Yeah, I need to get my battery charged, and then I'm probably going to go ahead and just mow after I get it charged and go over, because it won't be growing like crazy. And then I'll probably bring it in here and get my blades off and sharpen them and, all that kind of stuff. But I won't do that the first go around. I just need to get out there and knock down some high stuff. Yeah, no new tools other than I've got, like I said, I'll probably put a video out tomorrow, and then I've got some other ones that are in a similar vein to the ones that'll be coming out tomorrow, except for maybe a little bit more known brand. And then let me look at my list. Oh, I did get something in from Atlas 46 that's pretty nice. I forgot about that I had to make a video for. That's it pretty much on my list. I just uploaded the guess the trade for Saturday, so it's up for those of you who like doing the early guessing. I had time today. I was like, I'm gonna get home today because I got home today at because I did all the demo and stuff at the place and got the locks changed, and I wasn't gonna start on patching. I need to go to the store and get some backer board and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, I ain't doing that today. So I got home at I had to go pay a bill. But I think I got home at 1:00 or something like that today. And I was like, man, I probably should do a live today in case I can't do it Thursday. I said, but I really like to get that metal off in there so I can cut that hole in the wall. So then I was like, well, maybe I'll just do both that. I'll just make that during the live. But then I was like, but then I need to get the guess the trade film because the rest of my week's going to be crazy. And I don't know if I'll get one filmed before Saturday. So, but the guy this Saturday is Power Ram 50, but his name's Austin. But he only had 5 pictures or something, so it didn't take me very long to do it. You have a creeper in the background, better call the police. Yeah, that's that one from Napa that the guy gave me. I don't know that I'll ever use it, but it was free. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. It turns into a chair too, but because my truck, I can get under my truck. I don't know that I can get under my truck with that creeper, but I can get under my truck just with it parked somewhere and do most things that I do underneath of it. So most of the time I just crawl under there and don't mess with jacking it up and doing all that kind of stuff like that. And then by the time my lawnmower blades, by the time I jack it up, I can't really fit under. I mean, I'm not going to creep under my lawnmower blades anyways, but there isn't anything I can think of that really I fit under a creeper with the creeper. So I don't know how much I'll use it, but it was free. I have a pair of Shocks open run headphones. Highly recommend. Wings and Pizza said. Clint gets home at 1 p.m. every day. I usually try to be done working, like physical working at around 2:30. And then I try to come home and get my receipts in, fill out any kind of things, send invoices, all that kind of stuff. But I usually start a little bit. I mean, I try to start early too, though. Which I just remember tomorrow is Wednesday. So, yeah, I'll be going to breakfast tomorrow. I need to tell JB that. When is Super Slick Stuff going to sponsor you? It'd be nice. That would be nice. It'd save me a lot of money. I go through quite a bit of it. Not a ton, though. I mean, it goes pretty far. I mean, it can last me a long time, but I do go through quite a bit of it. But, man, it works for all kinds of stuff. Like, I use it all the time instead of using, a goo off or something like that. It takes off 9 times out of 10, whatever I spray it on. Whatever I'm trying to do, it does it. Like, if I'm trying to lube up something, it does it. If I'm trying to clean something, it does it. If I'm trying to make it take something off, it does it. It's like, I always try it on whatever it is I'm trying to do. Yeah, I'm usually very good about, like, I don't like to let my stuff get backed up. Receipts, like, cause I scan all my receipts. I keep like PDF copies of all my receipts. I put them in folders of jobs and all that kind of stuff like that, just for my own self. I just like being organized like that. I mean, I know technically if they come and audit me, I've also got all my receipts just stuffed in big boxes, and I'll be like, here you go, figure it out for yourself. But I'm usually pretty good about like not letting it get out of hand. Like, I knock it out as soon as I can most of the time. Matter of fact, usually whenever I get home, I'll take the receipts straight to my bar top in the kitchen and start scanning them. And then I'll go put those receipts in the box. And then that way they're on my computer. I may not file them on my computer yet and put them where they need to be, but they're at least already scanned in and I can get the paper receipt like put away. But the other day I started doing them. I keep them, if I do come in, I don't have time to do it, I put them in a little like jar that's in a cubby that I've got. And it was March the 7th or something. It was just the other day. And I had some receipts in there from January 21st or something. It was like some of them were January. That's how long it had been since I'd done any. So I had like a pretty decent day of getting caught up on that stuff. I use the shoebox method. That's where I have envelopes for years that are in a box, and like sometimes I do 2 envelopes a year, and I'll write the months or whatever they are. But I just take the paper ones and throw them in those. I don't try to keep them organized, but I have every single receipt. Like, I keep a folder for customers. So my folder bank is like it's in OneDrive. That way I can get to everything from my phone or whatever else. So like I'll have a year, and inside that year I'll have business receipts, customers, something else. I don't even remember what the other thing is. So then I'll click on the customer folder, and then that's got any customer I've worked for during that year. And then inside of there, I've got any job of theirs that I've done that year. And then inside of, those is where I'll put the receipts for those jobs and all that kind of stuff in case I need it later. Cause sometimes, like, well, matter of fact, today, that bathroom I took out the vanity. So everywhere that vanity is, there's no paint. And I've also got to cut it and put blocking in. So I'm going to have to patch that drywall. So that's going to need painting too. But I'd already used that paint color out in a hallway in that same suite. So I was able to go into my folder and look up that job where I did the hallway and found the paint can thing right then and there. Like, I could just look it up right there on my phone, and I didn't have to like go try to figure that out somehow, some way. So it's worth it. It takes you a little time to do all that stuff, but it does end up saving you a lot of time in the end, or a lot of hassle. I use those large accordion fold plastic envelopes. Running a site for a contractor, it gets a little spicy sometimes, keeping track of multiple jobs at once. Yeah, and then sometimes, like, I do time and material for some people sometimes. Matter of fact, like that rental house thing, that was time and material. So every day I just keep a running thing on my note app for that job. And at the end of the day, I keep up with my time, see how many hours, and then I just put in there what all I did that day. Cause that's how I kind of send somebody a invoice for time and material. Is I just on my invoice, I've got the days that I worked, like a date, and then I'll put, this is what I did that day, and this is how much that day was. And then I'll put all the materials for certain dates on receipts at the bottom with markup or whatever it is. Keeping up with those jobs is actually a little bit more time consuming, but you also don't have the whole time consuming aspect of finding all the materials, figuring out what you want to do for sure, sending an estimate, all that stuff takes a lot of time too. 3M blue painter's tape or frog tape. I don't use painter's tape a lot for painting. I use it a lot of times for caulking and holding stuff or doing whatever, but I usually just cut in with the painting. I got a zipper bank bag on my dash. I put in my receipts. I've got a little. I use a Klein zipper bag in my truck to put the stuff in. And I take it in every now and then and get the receipts out. I got in contact. Matt was asking Talking Hand Tools if he wants to do a dual live, which be fine by me if you want to. But I got in contact with Ray's Apartments Maintenance, but I haven't talked to him to see if when's a good. I know he's busy. He's been acting like he's been pretty busy on his work, but I haven't texted him to see if he wants to do a live sometime yet. I got enough self-tapping last screws over there for metal frame and studs to probably last me the rest of my life. I was just sitting there looking at them, and I actually gave a bunch of them away, and I still got a ton. I bet you'll be glad when everything has its place in there. Yeah, and I really want to go through like, and that'd be another nice thing about as I'm moving stuff, go through stuff. There's some of this stuff in here I don't need. Like, I mean, again, there's certain things I keep just because it doesn't hurt anything to have it, and I might would need it, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to need it. But there's some things that are in here that I know I just need to get rid of. But that's like a lot of the stuff, even that I've got my drawers, they don't need to be in my drawers right here. I mean, this is like premium space, but it's not really a good thing to put on a shelf, not in a tote. But I didn't have any really more room for totes anywhere. So then I start putting stuff in these drawers, but now I'll be able to have tons of spots for just totes that I can put random stuff in, label it, and if I ever need it, it's going to be in there. Really good painters don't use tape or they're terrible. Yeah, I never have. It's not necessarily. I don't like putting on. I hate the whole. It seems like it takes me longer to put on tape and to take it off and to deal with it than it is just take my time and cut stuff in. But you know, it just depends. I'm sure over time, like my hands are still pretty steady right now, but over time, I know that that kind of gets away from you. I use it primarily for writing pencil marks, like for centering. Yeah, now I do use it for that. I just use blue tape for that because it's not going to be up there for very long. Whenever I'm doing like a layout for pictures or something like that, that's what I use is blue tape. I keep blue tape in my truck. It's the only thing I keep in my truck, but I don't use it for painting. But I also don't. I don't even carry very much. I carry like a paintbrush in my truck and maybe like one of them small rollers, and that's pretty much about it. Just in case I need to roll on some glue even or something, or put on some glue on something. But I can also use it to touch up paint if somebody's got touch up paint and I do some kind of work and they want me to just hit it or something. But I got a paint box that I grab if I'm actually going to do painting that's got all that stuff in it, like anything you need to paint, but I don't carry it in my truck. Do those cameras have mics? Yep. Yeah, they do audio too. You can turn it on or off if you want it to record audio or not, but they do. It's a pretty good system. Tom Tom said that they're basically like it's the same cameras and everything with the different branding as the HIK Vision. I think's what he said. I don't know how you say that, but HIK Vision, which that's the camera system that we installed at the campus that I worked at. Most of the time, I just ran wire and hooked up the cameras, and then they had a company that basically came in and did a bunch of like all the configuring and tying it into our server and all that kind of stuff like that. So I just ran wire most of the time. That's why I said there's tons of things that it will do. It looks like to me it's got all the same setup as the one that I had at the place where I worked at, but I'm not the person, I'm not an expert on all that stuff. Like I've never really delved into it. I use blue to lay out industrial control panels, lay out the buttons and HMIs, then I don't have to mark on the boxes. I think I've got everything I need for tomorrow in my truck. 2x10 for blocking, backer board screws, drywall, patching stuff, because I had some squares of some green board over there. Everything else is already in my truck. That's just the weird stuff I don't keep in my truck. I've got to go buy the backer board. I don't have any of that. And my buddy said he thought he had some thin set, like a little leftover, because we don't need much. What's up, CE Tooled In? You making a structural patch repair this time, like the vanity? No. Yeah, this one's going from a vanity to a wall mount sink. But they ordered the sink, and it really said that it was basically this sink was for a masonry wall. It's like not even really intended for a wood wall, but it's because they know that the spacing would never be right. But I have to, behind the vanity, there was wallpaper. I had to take off wallpaper today, but there was behind the vanity was wallpaper, so they must have had that in there before they even did the vanity. After I took it out, so I had to peel all that off, and then like where the vanity backsplash was, like it was a Formica type top with the Formica backsplash that was glued to the wall. So where I ripped it off, the drywall was horrible. Like it was just coming off in chunks. So I was like, I'm gonna have to cut that out anyways. It's just a whole lot easier to redo that just to cut it out instead of trying to get that to come out right. So I'm like, I really need to put some blocking in the wall, so I'm just gonna cut out that too and just patch it back. Be a lot faster to patch it back with new drywall than to try to fix all that. Doing good, Carlos. That wallpaper actually didn't come off too bad. Most of it, like probably 80% of it, I grabbed it and pulled it and it came off the whole entire thing. And then the other 20%, the face of it came off, but the backing was still on there and I had to wet it a little bit and get it scraped off. Sounds like a 70s and 80s time capsule. Yeah, that's probably about right on that building. That's probably about when that one was built, if I had to guess. It's an older building. But I mean, not that that's old, but I'm saying it's older compared to. It's got a lot of dated stuff in it. I can't say that the 80s is older. That's like me saying that I'm old. I love 70s 1/4 inch thick wallpaper with real gold leaf. Yeah, and the shut-offs on the that were in there now are the old, like, keep turning, not the quarter turn, but the really, like, the whatever they call them when they're not quarter turn. And it took me forever, which I have caps in my truck because I'm not going to have it hooked back up for a while, but it's not one of them things where it's like, oh, well, I'll just change these out, because then you got to shut off the water to the whole entire building. And it's like, I think there's probably like 7 or 8 suites of people in this building. They don't really have it set up to where you can just shut off a suite. It's like you have to shut off the whole building every time you do anything there. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. So I kept on messing with it. And I finally got them both to where they weren't like, I mean, neither one of them were like running water like crazy, like, oh, it would fill up a bucket overnight type thing. But I found it was one of those where after you got the water out, like if you took some paper towel, stuck it in there, got the water out, 5 minutes later, you could see the water was back up to the top and going to start coming over again. But I took the handles off and grabbed them with some Cobras, and I finally got them to shut off all the way, I think. Enough to last until I get the new one hooked up and then just turn on the supply lines. Not the crystal knobs. No, these were metal, but it's that kind. It almost looks like those. Because their compression stops at least on copper, so they would be really easy to change. It wouldn't be a big deal to change them, other than the whole aspect of turning the water off everywhere. And it's on the 3rd floor, so it didn't even so much the turning the water off and then going and change them, get the water back on. But if I'm there by myself, I don't like doing that stuff when I'm by myself, and where I'm working is so far away from where I shut the water off. And then you go turn the water back on. You're just hoping that as you walk through the building, going up 3 floors, you're not hearing like, where something popped off or something. That's one of them jobs where you got to evaluate. It's not worth it for me to do it. Like, the little amount of money I'm going to make on that versus the risk of what could happen. I'd just be like, no, here's my buddy's number. You can call him. He'll come do it for you. Because it's like 3rd floor, gushing water going down to the suites down below it, ruining the ceilings, ruining everything else. You having to pay for all that just to make a couple $100. No. Now, if I've got another person with me who's standing up there and I turn the water on and they can tell me you're good, all right. Yeah, I don't think y'all would get the guess the trade this time around exactly, anyways. I think that'd be pretty few and far between. That's my hint to you. It's a random thing. They make a device that will freeze the pipe so you can change the valve. Yeah, I've seen those. That would be a better way to go, working by yourself, because you can at least, you're right there the whole entire time. Never, for one, the shutting off the water, you don't have to shut off everybody's, but also the whole, while I'm changing it and while I'm unthawing it and while I'm seeing it, like if I need to do something, I'm right there. I'm not, outside and running through the house and everything else. We got there today, and there's an elevator in this building that goes to all 3 floors. And I was like, well, that's good, because now everything we carry, because the stairwell is not it's an older building. So it's like, it's not really, I don't even know. There's no way it's like would pass today or something. It's got to be grandfathered in. But well, good. I'll be able to bring the vanity cabinet that I tear out down, the sink and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be able to take all my stuff up in the elevator. It won't be that big a deal. So I took my cart in there and was pushing it in, and then the elevator broke. So we couldn't even use that today. 2 old iPhones FaceTiming. I've heard something about using bread or dissolving beads or something. Yeah, we used to use the guy that I worked with before he retired. Like if we were soldering, if you had a copper pipe leak and you needed like to, because it's hard sometimes with the steam and everything. If you're like in a line that's had water in it and it's still like it just now, not like brand new, like you're just soldering new stuff together. He would always put bread or something in it to try to soak up the water to make it to where it's soldered better. Do those tools use refrigerant like an air duster can? Oh, the pipe freezing ones. I'm not sure. No, I think it's almost like this, just by me remember what I've seen. It's almost like clamps that go around and does something. But yeah, it's probably got something in there, I guess. Some kind of refrigerant you'd think that does something, that you plug it up and it starts kicking in something. If I get the chance, I pro press on the threaded end. Maybe Steve can get me a pro press. He probably got 7 pro presses at his house. But I guess I'm gonna get off here. I gotta go back there and check on my battery charger in the other building on my lawnmower. See how that's going. I think I've got everything in my truck. And I don't think I'm gonna need my Sawzall. That Sawzall is the only tool I think I brought in here from my truck. I don't think I'll need that tomorrow, and even if I do, I got my little smaller one. Get the $100 manual Pro Press from iCrimp. But we'll see y'all. Again, I might be Thursday, but might not be. We'll see how that goes. I'll make a post probably, if one way or the other. And then I'll try to put out, I think I got a video I'll put out tomorrow on some tools too. But we'll see y'all on the next one. I know it wasn't very exciting to cut the hole. It didn't take very long. But that's one thing that's the last final big step. Getting closer. But we'll see y'all on the next one.